Oh, boxing IQ. He's a very good fighter. He's stronger. He is very compact. He is like a bull, you know. He's a smart guy.
But Gennady Golovkin responds, and this is what he had to say, quote, he says, Terence Crawford won't have to problem with Canelo's power because he doesn't have any power.
Could possibly be the end for him because Bud has what it takes. I'm not saying Bud will win, but I'm just saying he has what it takes.
Gennady Golovkin gives a shocking prediction for the upcoming Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford showdown. Golovkin believes Crawford will not struggle with Canelo's power because he insists Canelo does not truly possess knockout strength. Having faced Canelo 3 times himself, Golovkin claims Canelo has not changed much over the years. He praises Crawford's power and adaptability, while reminding that every opponent brings unique challenges requiring smart preparation.
This is boxing. This is more interesting.
Gennady, let me ask you this. You were there ringside. You saw Canelo. Yeah. Did he look better than what he did in the second fight with you? Does he look like he's improving and getting better?
Marcus, I told you just, you know, every opponent gives you different. Every fight is different. Two fights I had, 2 fights with him. First fight and second fight is different, you know, just.
So you think like
no, I don't feel like, you know, more power, more speed.
Golovkin has spent 36 rounds in the ring with Canelo Alvarez, which gives his opinion more weight than most. He argues that Canelo relies on flurries of combinations and flashy knockout attempts rather than true power punches that can break down an elite opponent. For Golovkin, this is not just casual talk, but insight gained through direct combat. He has tasted Canelo's best shots and remains convinced that they lack the kind of natural force one would expect from a fighter so widely feared for his strength. His point challenges a popular belief that Canelo is a devastating puncher.
As everybody's trying to gauge how this fight is going to play out, they anticipate this fight. They want to know how this fight is going to play out. And Gennady Golovkin gives his 2 cents. As his trainer, Abel has been on social media doing multiple interviews and stating that Terence Crawford is simply too small and he's going to lose, right? And Gennady Golovkin, as Abel Sanchez is saying that he's going to get knocked out, right? Because it's too much power. Well, but Gennady Golovkin responds, and this is what he had to say, quote, he says, Terence Crawford won't have to problem with Canelo's power because he doesn't have any power. He said, I fought Canelo at 160 and at 68, and I could say he has fast punches, he has fast combinations, but I wouldn't say there were a lot of power there, or power punches, or knockout punches. You saw that. You saw this clean shots that I took and he brought, and there were no results, end quote. So Gennady Golovkin is saying he hit me with clean shots. You saw him hit me with clean shots, and the results was I didn't go anywhere. Now, I know people will say, well, Gennady.
Instead, portray him as a boxer who relies more on timing and volume than raw punching power. While Gennady Golovkin's former trainer insists that Terence Crawford has no chance against Canelo Alvarez, Golovkin himself does not fully agree with that view. He recognizes Crawford's sharp skills and strategic mindset, which would present real challenges for Canelo, making the fight more competitive than many experts initially assume. Golovkin's trilogy with Canelo remains one of the most discussed rivalries in modern boxing. The fact that he continues to question Canelo's supposed punching power after all those rounds is telling.
In favor of Canelo Alvarez. Former Golovkin trainer Abel Sanchez, who's been very critical as of lately and said that Canelo will just play with Terence Crawford and by the second half, it'll just be like a sparring session. Sanchez said that Canelo will not only dictate the pace throughout the evening, if Triple G himself couldn't even hurt Canelo, then Crawford's chances are definitely not that great. Sanchez said, quote, Crawford is a great fighter, but that's why weight divisions exist. Neither Bivol could hurt hurt him, nor could my fighter in 2 fights. Triple G's former trainer has also repeatedly emphasized that Crawford should have moved up in weight class a long time ago, and that his jump should have been more gradual and steady, and suggested that skipping divisions will definitely play a role in him potentially losing badly to Canelo Alvarez.
His comments carry credibility because they come from a fighter who has endured Canelo's hardest efforts multiple times. When he states that Crawford has the tools to withstand Canelo's offense, it becomes headline material across the boxing community. Fans and analysts debate his words because they cut against the mainstream image of Canelo as a ruthless finisher. Golovkin's perspective reignites questions about how much of Canelo's reputation is based on marketing and how much is built on genuine performance. Training camp reports add another layer of intrigue to this highly anticipated clash. According to Showbiz The Adult, Canelo Alvarez has taken a careful approach during his sparring sessions with Gennady.
We do know about Canelo Alvarez bringing boots to training camp and what we can concur. First, you must understand that Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford is September 13th, okay? That's just a few weeks away. What, almost 3 weeks away, something like that. It's just a few weeks away. So to expect them to have hardcore sparring, like real sparring where they're fighting each other and they're really just going hard and sparring, pause, I don't really see that happening because you don't want a cut or anything, and you don't want anything to threaten the fight September 13th. Also, not only is Canelo Alvarez fighting soon, September 13th, but Boots Ennis, he has to fight against Lima come October. So you don't want Canelo Alvarez beating up on Boots either and cutting him or anything like that, blackening his eye or detached retina or anything like that. You don't want any incidents like that. So understand that they're probably sparring light to mid. They're definitely not going hard in there. Okay, pause. So we have to really put it aside that either one, I don't think Canelo will be beating the hell out of Boots or Boots beating the hell out of Canelo. But what I can see is if Boots is moving around and Canelo can't catch him, like let's say Boots is like pop, pop, piecing him up with some light work and Canelo can't get to him, which, you know, that's kind of different than a real fight. In a real fight, you know, Canelo will be breaking you down and then you kind of get tired over time. But still, if they're working on cutting off the ring, if Canelo can't, and Boots is hitting him with, you know, piecing him up and moving and slipping and sliding, and he just can't get to him, that'll be some value added and something to be concerned about, which...
Often holding back and avoiding unnecessary risks to preserve himself for the main event. While such caution can be seen as a smart strategy, some insiders suggest it also reflects doubts about his preparation. More sensational accounts claim that Canelo was dropped in the 3rd round by Boots and had visible trouble handling the younger fighter's speed and power. Though these stories remain unconfirmed, they have captured the attention of fans and analysts who wonder if there is truth behind the whispers. If Canelo is indeed showing vulnerability in sparring.
Canelo is the guy, right? But everybody know that shit got to come to an end one day. Nothing is forever. And I'm not saying this is now. I'm not saying that. But Bud could possibly be the end for him because Bud has what it takes. I'm not saying Bud will win, but I'm just saying he has what it takes. He's not afraid of Canelo. You know what I'm saying? 2, he has the skills to be able to deal with Canelo. Does he have the power? I don't know, but he is a puncher. He's a puncher because his record says so. You know what I'm saying? Canelo is a puncher as well. So what I see is a great respect for each other, but after 4 rounds, I see a war breaking out. And whoever can stand it, meaning whoever can take that shit that's coming their way, that's who wins the fight. You know
Man,
what I mean?
I don't know if Bud wants that. I don't know if Bud wants a war with that dude.
Yeah,
That
I mean, but
granted, he got a granite ass chin. But you saying he's a puncher because his record says so. So you gotta assume that you making the assumption that he can crack. Because Arrow said he can crack. That's what Arrow came out. Arrow, I think, said he thought, you know, it was getting Canelo. I don't know whether that's, you know, him trying to pay him back for saying that, for what Terence said about him. This other fight, man, I got it in the title, man. And I appreciate you letting me pick your brain, man. Because I'm going to steal your predictions. And then I'm going to give you credit for it at the same time, dog. I ain't going to be like everybody else. I'm going to steal your shit and give you credit for it at the same time, dog. Devin, I'm starting to think, man, maybe Devin Haney's a little underrated, man. going into this Brian Norman fight. Like I've had my own personal issues with the dude and his pops, but that shit aside, the dude knows what he's doing in the boxing ring. He's been in there with a bunch of fights. He's a championship world-class level fighter, bro.
It could be an early warning sign that his form is slipping. For Terence Crawford, who excels at exploiting weaknesses, such potential flaws could provide the perfect opening to shift a fight in his favor. Greg Hackett takes a broader view by framing the fight as a possible changing of the guard. He recognizes that Canelo was once considered the best pound-for-pound fighter, but stresses that no era lasts forever. Every great champion eventually meets the opponent who signals the end of their dominance.
Purely pathetic. Terence Bud Crawford's team inflicting race in this situation in reference to Jerome Bruce Ennis training and sparring with Canelo Alvarez, Mexican superstar, Latino superstar, the 4-division world champion, super middleweight undisputed, because Jerome Bruce Ennis, a brother, is training with Canelo Alvarez, then he's a sellout to his people? Really? This what Terence Bud Crawford's team had to say in reference to Jerome Bruce Ennis, the former unified champion of the welterweight division, training and sparring with Canelo Alvarez.
He sold out. That's all I can say. He sold out now.
It's pathetic, man. Because he's a sellout because he's training with Canelo. Hey, yo, Bernie the Boxer and people that, and Terence Bud Crawford's members that feel this way. Do y'all feel the same way about Isaud? Yeah. The Latino trainer, the Guatemalan trainer that been training Terence Bud Crawford since 14 years old. That's how y'all look at him? Y'all look at him like he's a sellout? Is he a sellout to Latinos because he trains Terence Bud Crawford? Yo, for real, I never heard that in the sport of boxing, where Latino trains with a black fighter and he's a sellout to Latinos. I never heard, I never seen it. Why is this self-victimhood, this ingrained hate that some blacks have?
And Hackett believes Crawford might be that figure. He points to Crawford's technical brilliance, discipline, and hunger as reasons why he could usher in a new chapter in boxing history. For Hackett, this fight represents more than just belts and rankings. It is about legacy and timing. John Ryder brings first-hand perspective from his own sparring sessions with Canelo.
With one going up in weight, quite a big step. I mentioned it to the two guys when I saw them in Riyadh last week as well. First of all, I was backing Terence Crawford to win this on points, with his skills to pay the bills and his speed and his timing and his spitefulness and the fact that he's raising his game. When we see here as well, by the way, the pushing and shoving in New York in the earlier press conference, I think he's poked the bear a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Canelo's very dangerous. And I think Canelo might win this.
My money's on Crawford. My money's clearly on Crawford. I mean, there's so many different ways of looking at this fight, but I really believe...
Do you like it?
It's the best fight in world boxing, bar none, at any weight division.
Because of the stylistic matchup, because of the raise in levels, and because of the weight differential.
Yeah, and because we're looking at two of the best undisputed modern day boxers that have ever lived, in my opinion, modern day boxers that have lived. In this current generation that we're in now, you're not going to get two better fighters fighting at this time in their careers.
He recalls going 12 rounds in a hard and competitive training session, which demonstrates the Mexican champion's work ethic and endurance. Ryder describes Canelo as consistent and difficult to break down over long stretches, which reinforces why he remains at the top level for so long. This testimony balances a narrative by showing that while some believe Canelo's power is overhyped, his overall skill set, conditioning, and experience still make him a dangerous opponent for anyone who dares to share the ring.